The Match Ball.
Hello there and welcome to the show. It's brought to you in association with Levi Solicitors, who will offer you a 10% discount on your legal fees at levisolicitors.co.uk/the square ball, won't they, Michael Normanton?
They will, yeah. And I've not just opened the webpage. There's someone in the comments said.
That's what Ben said, you have, haven't you?
I actually haven't, but I know what they do. They do legal services, wills, probate, conveyancing. They do litigation, professional negligence, medical negligence.
Right.
Loads of different things.
You were panicking then, weren't you?
No. I'm fully in control of this sponsorship.
Well, let's get the... we are live streaming on YouTube for our TSB Plus members. Let's get the score updated, shall we? What was it? 1-0.
He's forgotten to do it first.
No, I didn't. It's nice. Look at how dynamic this is. They'll update on screen for you now. Wait for it. Boom. There you go.
Some people have been waiting for that result, probably. Not been able to find it out until now.
Yeah. But it's nice to be accurate with your information, isn't it? Anyway, is it weird that I perversely enjoyed that game and the fact that it was a bit of a grind of a win rather than a procession? I would rather have a procession, but I quite liked the grindy aspects of it.
Yeah, I think it's a really good sign that it was a grind, and it does feel like we are very much in those Champo slog months where it's like, oh God, we're going to have a few weeks of this. But for much of that, I mean, I must admit, I was in like the gods of the East stand-upper, so I couldn't really see the clock, and it felt like for the second half they had the ball for about an hour.
There was a period, it was about 55 minutes to about 60, 65 minutes, wasn't it?
Right.
Yeah.
It was weird when there were long periods when they had the ball. I thought first half hour it felt a bit like Cardiff, for example, where we were just the better team and we scored and it was like, okay, this is going to be fine. Then they came into it. We started the second half all right. Then there was a long period of them having the ball and yet doing absolutely nothing with it, really. Like they didn't create a single chance in that period, but we couldn't get it off them, but equally they couldn't do anything with it. So it's one of those things, if we're doing that, I get really frustrated because I'm like, oh, it's useless, this. We're playing into their hands. Yeah. Whereas when someone's doing it, when we're the team defending, I'm thinking, it's a matter of time, this. They're bound to, at some point, they're going to break through and score.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I enjoyed watching our shape. And I think I'm quite lucky, and I don't know if you appreciate this from where you were sat, Rob, being higher up, you can see how we get into shape under Farke and where we let teams have the ball. You let them have it in the sort of fullback positions. And I think the crowd gets a little bit frustrated at times when they're given possession and we're not necessarily herring around closing them down, but you can see why. It's because they're in positions not hurting us, and then they'll maybe try and thread it down the sides, and that's when you hope that you're going to double up or get an interception in. But we tend to defend, I think, to my eye, from sort of the edge of our box to about maybe 10, 20 yards in front of it, something like that. That's the area we like to defend in and then break from there.
It also helps as well when you've got a centre-half like Joe Rodon who just heads everything away, tackles everyone, boots it away. He's just generally ace. I did make a note saying Joe Rodon is mint, and then a second later he went down injured, and I was like, oh no, God, please don't. Everything's fine.
It was a big tackle. He injured himself, wasn't it? When he, I think he managed. Did he get sort of a knee to the thigh when he did it? Maybe someone sort of ran in. He ran through him a bit, didn't he?
He's often sort of hobbling around, isn't he?
Rodon?
He gets stuck in. Yeah. Good.
There was a bit in the first half where there was a ball over the top, and it was. I don't think it was for them, but I sort of felt like any other defender we have, and they probably don't get there first because it was Rodon. He managed to get his body in front and he's got the pace. And he got in and he just dealt with it. And he does that so often. He makes things disappear, does Rodon. And I feel like he enjoys defending in a way that no one did last year.
Would you be entirely... Have you seen the film 1917?
No.
You know where those young lads have got to deliver a message to it's the front lines of like World War I when they're sending men over the top. And if they get there in time, they'll save lives just by stopping this one mission for them all to go over the top. You wouldn't be surprised at all if Joe Rodon had been like mooching about in one of the trenches, like covered in blood or whatever, limping around, shell shocked or whatever. But he's got that kind of air about him. I like him. He's a grizzled, better than Championship bastard.
He definitely is. In some ways, he reminds me a little bit of Pontus Jansson, but probably faster and better on the ball.
Is that because they were singing his song, Pontus Jansson's song, with Joe Rodon's name?
Oh, were they?
I didn't notice that. I think, yeah.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
So I thought, why are we singing about Pontus Jansson? And then I realised, oh no, Joe Rodon's
they're singing
got
it to, is it Chase the Sun, the song that was, it's the one that Luke...
It's the darts song, isn't it?
Luke Humphries. Is it Luke Humphries?
It's just a Luke Humphries. It's just a darts song,
he's become like, he's adopted, hasn't it? It's I'm not going to sing it. I was Chase the Sun. Yeah, that one. Joe Rodon. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, he was good. And Ampadu as well alongside him. A pair of them just looked composed, good on the ball, good at defending. I enjoyed Rodon just pointing at the opposite end of the pitch when Melia had the ball on a couple of occasions, just going, don't give it to me, up, out.
There was a moment
kick it far.
When he was hobbling as well and someone passed it to him and he clearly looked at him like, what the fuck are you giving it to me for? Give it to someone else.
Yeah, everyone played. It was weird. I thought, as a team, it was a long, long way from our best performance this year. But individually, I'd probably say everyone played quite well.
Yeah, I think by the end, that bit in the middle of the second half did worry me in that Leedsy way because the crowd were getting a bit antsy, albeit the crowd did try and sort of lift it as well for a bit. But yeah, for a bit I was like, oh God, this isn't great. I feel like I'm on a come down or something. And then I thought the last period of the second half, we just took control again, started creating all the chances. We were good.
Yeah, I mean, we did create all the chances second half, didn't we? For as much possession as they had. We should probably have finished it off. I mean, there were a few, weren't there? And the one, probably what would have been the best one was when Bamford played Anthony and he had that really bad first touch and we ended up with a corner from it, but that was a good opportunity. There was Somerville putting one just past the post. There was Rutter having one saved. Firpo had one saved. It was, yeah, we had a lot of, we should probably have added to it. Just look at the XG, we were 1.52 to 0.45.
It was good because we couldn't get the ball for a bit, but then they just started giving it to us and like, you try and score if you want. And we were in that mood where we were like, we're going to keep trying to mess this up, I think, in more entertaining ways.
Yeah, apologies, by the way, if there's a slight delay between the video and the audio. I think the audio might be slightly ahead on the stream. If it is, apologies. I've just added a delay to the audio, so hopefully we'll get somewhere back towards being in sync. But
Dan, you bought some new things. Now nothing works.
I bought some new toys and it's broken everything. But we can if you don't, I mean, you don't have to look at us. Just close your eyes and then you can just listen. Stop doing that, Normansons. Yeah. Anyway, back to the grind and what we were talking about there. Stop it.
Okay, sorry. I'm just mouthing here. Where were we? We've talked about the defence. We haven't talked about Archie Gray yet.
Yeah, I hope he's all right.
Could anyone see what actually happened there?
He got kicked by the looks of it. Someone left a leg in on him, trailed a leg as he managed to get past him. And I don't know if it was that did him or it was the subsequent tackle on the edge of the area, whether that sort of finished him off or whether it was the root cause of it. I'm not sure.
Too talented for his own good, I think, is the problem.
That was a proper match-saving tackle, that, by the way, wasn't it?
Oh, it's unbelievable. And then he took the ball as well and ran forwards with it, and it was just like, yes, what a fucking man.
He's a boy.
What a fucking boy. Let's say that. He was injured when we scored as well, wasn't he, Gray?
Yes, I was
he was
screaming at him to get up because I was worried the ref was going to stop it. And it was like, it don't matter. Dan James, brilliant cross. Nice header as well.
The audio's back in sync. Look at that.
Well
fixed just like that.
Very well
on
done.
the fly. Anyway, defending. Good, yeah. Melee didn't really have to face a shot. We've said that, haven't we, about the period of pressure that they had?
I think he saved one first half, didn't he, I think?
Yeah, that was kind of right at him, wasn't it?
Yeah, he just sort of dropped to his left for it. It wasn't a particularly difficult save.
They had a hilarious miss at the end of the first half as well.
Yeah.
Proper Bamford v Leicester, wasn't it?
Yes. Yeah. That one at the back post. Yeah.
I fully thought it was Scott. And the bloke in front of me went, fuck's sake, oh, they missed.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those moments where you have to sort of have a second look at it, don't you? But yeah, I mean, they did create that chance, I suppose.
Do you think on balance we deserve to win that? Just about?
Yeah. No,
they could have got something out of it, couldn't they? Like based on that chance alone, and that they put us under that bit of pressure for quite a sustained period, really. But I thought we rode it out well. Yeah,
we wasted quite a few chances, and I don't think they wasted any other than that.
Yeah,
there were a few. Obviously, there's a few anxious moments when the ball's going across the box and they're getting the odd corner and whatnot. But there was never a moment where you were like, well, I suppose the one where Archie Gray got back was the bit where you saw that unfolding and you were like, oh shit, they're going to score here, because I think it was it 4-on-3 for a little period of that break, and there was the sort of Jesse Marsh gap at one side of the pitch that you could see opening up, and I was thinking, oh no, this is where it all falls apart for us. But never mind, Archie Gray was there.
Right, moving forward then, in front of him, what about Dan James too? A number of people mentioning him in the comments on the stream. He was excellent, wasn't he? I mean, albeit we lost him at half time to injury. Again, that's one thing I hope we. I mean, I haven't looked at the post match comments yet, but I hope we haven't come out with too many injuries out of that one. But at least we've got the break of the FA Cup coming at the weekend.
Yeah, I felt like the lack of changes was kind of just Farke being like, you just knock yourselves out, you'll all get a rest at the weekend, he'll be fine.
Yeah, Dan James he's been good, hasn't he? And I think when it came to his replacement, he put on Jaden Anthony, because you're probably going to get a bit more in terms of cover and work down that side. And I thought he was really good too. I enjoyed watching him second half.
Anthony, yeah, he had a few sloppy touches.
And I just want to say, like on a human level, I hope he's all right because he's lost his mum, hasn't he? Which is
I was going to say,
terrible.
He had a few bits where he didn't have a great touch, and then the chance was gone or whatever. But yeah, he's obviously having a very tough time. So he did all right, didn't he? Covered back pretty well, I thought, as well.
His first couple of touches were really nice, and then he seemed to get kind of dragged down by the rest of it, like the rest of them did. But yeah, he was fine, wasn't he?
Yeah, but no, Dan James was great again. I think we probably second half it opens up a little bit more if he's still on the pitch as well, because there were a few breaks where we had on, and you get the Dan James car noise. Zooming up and appearing from nowhere. So, but no, lovely cross and a nice header from Bamford as well. One that you do expect a striker to score.
You want him to hit the target.
Yeah, but it was really nice the way he put it back across the goal into the far corner. It was. It makes it harder for the keeper, doesn't it? Because he's got his momentum's going the other way because he's running back across goal and stuff. So
on Dan James, even from the stopper, I felt like I could hear him just like sprinting up to people, and I was just thinking, if I was a defender playing against him and someone gave him the ball, I would just fall over and just let him take it. You just shit yourself, basically. You could hear him running after you.
It's like, oh, come on. Slow down. Grow up. Stop it. Elsewhere in midfield, Gruev.
Good again.
He's good.
Kamara, I thought they did all right.
Yeah, at points it seemed a little bit overrunning there because I think just because of the way they were playing. And like, to be fair to Norwich, they do have some quite tidy midfielders, don't they, who are obviously quite comfortable receiving the ball in tight spaces, and they were like passing it around in some like neat little triangles, which you didn't.
Is this creamy chalk, by the way?
It is.
It's a nice creamy chalk. Thank you. Sorry, I was enjoying it.
But yeah, like you didn't see any of that from Preston, did you?
No.
Any like nice, neat. Whereas it was like Sarah and Nunes and Rowe. There were a few of them that are all like evidently fairly good footballers who were able to keep hold of it and pass it and stuff. So
because they made us work for it, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like they had some time, particularly in that second half when they were doing that thing of just pinging it through the lines and doing little spins and layoffs and stuff like that. I thought it caused us a few problems without ever creating a huge amount of clear-cut chances. Well, there was a certain amount of relief on my part when Ashley Barnes came on, though. I will admit that.
But I didn't include it in propaganda because I thought I'm setting us up for a fall there. But when I was listening to the Pinken, they were saying, how much their form's picked up and how much better they look, and they were attributing a load of it to Josh Sargent and saying how good he's been. And my opinion on Josh Sargent prior today was that he's a fucking dreadful footballer. But I was like, I suppose that was Premier League maybe. But then I saw him today and I was like, oh no, he's shit. I forgot. Oh yeah, no, he's exactly what I remember.
I was waiting for you to bring him up. There was a bit in the first half where I think they spent ages like with the keeper with the ball at his feet, and then he just launched it up to Josh Sargent, and he just seemed to forget that the ball was coming towards him. I think Bamford did the same actually in the first half, where Melier kicked it towards him.
He was talking to someone on the side.
He seems to be talking to Farker, and everyone's like, Pat, the ball's coming towards you, mate.
Yeah, Elliot makes a good point, actually, here in the comments. Let's not forget that we got the shit kicked out of us for 100 minutes 3 days ago.
Yeah, that is true.
So they've done
It'd be
well.
weird if we get picked up injuries from today and not that.
Yeah. Such is life, isn't it? Such is life. Can we, have we dealt enough with everybody behind Georginio Rutter, and can we talk about him yet?
Well, we've not spoken about Junior Firpo in depth.
Right, let's talk about Junior.
He looks like a normal left back. Is the best thing I can say about him.
Is this where we are on the cycle now?
Yeah, but he looks fine, doesn't he? If I'd never seen him before the last few weeks, I'd be like, yeah, he looks good. Looks like decent going forward. Fine at the back. Yeah. Definitely a left back. If we just signed him in January, I'd be pleased with him.
Right.
I've got, unfortunately, a lot of past trauma.
Junior PTSD.
Of Junior Firpo. But yeah, he looks good at the moment.
49ers, Parag, if you're listening, we'd still like one though. Come on, be sensible.
Not going to get one.
But no, because going into the game, I was thinking how Firpo has been attacking well in the last few games. And that's something that I've always thought, do we think he's good going forward just because he's terrible defensively? But today, defensively, he was getting his foot in, made some good, big tackles. It was nice to see.
I don't know if it's someone has just coached him, but he seems to just not really try to tackle anymore, which is actually good. He just runs up to a winger and then just stands there until they have to pass it. Whereas there was when he was at his worst is when you'd charge over and you could see him about to lunge in. You were like, you're going to get your card or they're going to go down the outside here. And it happened over and over again, whereas he seems to have just become hesitant, but in a good way, because his own brain was telling him to do bad things. It's like someone's told him, just less of that. Just nice and steady up to him.
Well, I think...
block the cross. It's fine to just block a cross.
If ever we've learned a lesson about coaching, it's probably from seeing Bielsa, isn't it? And you hope that there's some of that same magic within Farke. And you would say so. Like, you can see the improvement in a number of players.
Yeah.
We've actually got more points now than we did at the same stage under Bielsa in the promotion season.
It's wild, isn't it?
Which is crazy. And I wonder if we're not giving the players and the manager enough credit here. I know, like, Leicester and Ipswich and Southampton are above us, but just the fact we're staying in this race, which is ludicrous, and they're having to set that pace at the top. We're doing really well.
Yeah, and the difference is, though, we came out of the blocks. It was like the Big Bang, wasn't it? It was like the reinvention of the universe when, Bielsa took over and we had that Stoke game, but this took a while to build up ahead of steam, didn't it? That early month, I think, put everyone's nerves on edge, and I thought, well, this ain't going to be the season. We've got no chance now, and then we started winning games, but there's that little nagging doubt, isn't there? It's always haunting you, thinking we could revert to that somehow, or
still took Bielsa 2 years as well. Yeah, you can't take it for granted.
He did. But yeah, I mean, the pressure we're now applying at the top has got to be, well, I mean, it is telling on Ipswich, I would say, because they've, from looking like they were going to win every single game, they've now had a run. I know it was a decent result getting a point at Leicester, but they've drawn a lot of games recently, and all of a sudden they can very, very much feel Southampton and us behind them. And I think you'd have to say that us or Southampton are favourites ahead of Ipswich now for second.
Table's on the screen. Look at that.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So that's nice, isn't it?
It's a shame other teams are going to play.
Yeah, should we ask them not to, or just to throw their games?
Yeah, because I prefer it looking like this.
Yeah, there's a nice gap there to West Brom. Obviously, there's that game in hand to factor in, isn't there? But they've got to go out there and win it. Whereas being 2 points off second, that works for me. Don't know about you.
Yeah,
I prefer to be second, but I'll take it at the end of the season.
You'd still be riddled with anxiety either way, so it's fine.
That's one thing that's important, I think, to factor in for anybody who's not match going, who's watching this or listening to this, is that it feels like there's a little bit more on games now, which is why I'm kind of glad and take satisfaction out of the grinding win tonight, because it feels like the pressure is just starting to build that little bit. What do you think?
No, it definitely is. I think,
and it's only going to get worse.
Southampton's run and the fact Ipswich had such a good start means you can't afford to slip up at the moment.
Yeah,
and record-breaking 5 wins.
Yes, first time ever, isn't it, in the start of the calendar year? So surely we should get something for that.
That is mental. The first time in the club's history.
Yeah, it's not very good, is it?
We're a really bad football
shit. Yeah, it does feel like we should have done that before, but never mind.
Is it time to talk about Georginio Rutter? Have we done everything else?
Yeah,
we all just saying in the office, weren't we, before we started doing the stream? Then we were just like giggling. It's just I can't even put it into words. I can't quantify what it is that he does. He's just great fun, and he's loving every minute of it. And I'm loving every minute of watching him. Loving every minute.
He does what he wants, basically.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. There was a bit in the first half where I noticed Archie Gray was up front and Georginio Rutter was right back, and I was like, "Yeah, cool. Let's just go
that
with
works.
this.
Let's roll with it." Yeah. And it is. I don't know. There's something pure about it all, isn't there? There's. I don't know. It's just something about. I don't know if it taps into being a kid or watching him play like a kid. He just seems to be having such a good time, and it is really what football's about, isn't it? Just getting out there and having a laugh, and he's just grinning at everything.
He drags the ball out from some impossible looking situations as well, where you think, oh, he's got 3 men around him and there's nothing he can do. Or the ball's at like shoulder height and all of a sudden he'll jump and chest it and turn at the same time, and it looks like it's going to go out of play, but then he gets a long left leg to it and brings it in, and before you know it, he's kind of running through on goal, and you're like, that was not a situation that I saw developing half a second ago, but he's somehow managed to do it. And the bit we were laughing about now was when he sort of rolled it with his studs through someone's legs in the box.
Because you think he's off balance and he's overrun it, or there's no way he can do something with that now. The steam has run out of the opportunity, and then he just does something like just rolls it.
That nutmeg, it was so slow.
It really was.
It was so deliberate. It was just like, yeah, I can do this to you, and I'm going to do it.
I like to think he told him he was going to do it as well. I'm going to put this through your legs now, and he's like, no, you're not.
Just watch.
Some nice comments like Brian saying that watching him is like watching Doctor Strange. He bends space and time, and Lee and Cheese is saying he runs with the ball like a middle-aged man on hot sand, yet somehow he's still majestic, which is true.
It's true. He's really, really unconventional in just everything he does, but he's great fun.
When do we do the tribute show for Victor Orta?
Yes, did you see him trying to he did some interview somewhere, didn't he? And he was trying to flex.
It was some sort of seminar, I think, wasn't it?
He was trying to flex about this one, saying, people saying I shouldn't have bought him, but look, everyone now loves him.
He's the best player in the Championship.
Yeah.
The key word there being Championship, though, son. You know?
I think Victor Otto's got bigger things to worry about anyway right now.
Probably has,
Yeah, no, fair point. At least he's doing seminars teaching people how to do things badly. Just a question from Ken Bates, stole my seat. What time did my dad leave? He vacated his seat at about 75 minutes.
Well, that's quite a long
He
time.
was saying his bet's on 59. That's when he first started talking about it. He's like,
Right.
I think his comment to me was, I can't take another half an hour of this. But he lasted about another 15 minutes or thereabouts. Right, and he just said, right, I'm off for a wander. See you later on.
Do you think if he missed the opening of a game, he could stay at the
He
end?
missed the winner at the weekend.
Yeah.
He heard
That's
it.
what I mean, because if he just can't bear the pressure builds up over an hour, if he went in on like half an hour in,
Yeah.
and then you only have to get through 15 minutes to half time,
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long drive back to the East Coast at this time of night, though, isn't it?
don't have to come, you know.
No, I know. I do. That's like, it's entirely voluntary,
No,
Dave.
you don't have to come.
Yeah.
It's fine.
But yeah, he's long suffering. Mind you, aren't we all? Comments coming in then. Wagner, Ben is saying that Wagner said the result is frustrating. The performance the players have done well. We gave Leeds a real game, which I think is fair enough.
They're not a bad team at Norwich. I've thought that both times we've played them. They seem to have some.
Something about their style causes us problems, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well,
And yet we've beaten them twice.
we're going to say we have beaten them twice, and they've not really had any chances tonight. But yeah, they do seem to play some. There are a few of their players I wouldn't mind, I suppose, is the thing. Often we play teams in this division, and I sort of think, oh, they're all shit. I don't want any of them. All our players are far better. Whereas there's a few on Norwich, not Josh Sargent or Ashley Barnes.
I'm going to say, I don't know what any of them are called, but a few of them do look all right.
Yeah, there are a few quite tidy ones in there.
Hutchie's just asking, does my dad keep up with the score via the radio or something, or does he immediately forget about the game? I don't know. I mean, he said that the game at the weekend, who did we play? Was it Preston?
It was Preston.
Yeah, it was Preston. He said he heard the winner from the car. He just got to the car when the winner went in, and he heard the cheer, and he asked himself, is that their fans being loud, or have I heard the Leeds fans there? So he got in the car and stuck the radio on. But to miss moments, it doesn't make sense to me.
No.
To miss moments like that, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? You put yourself through the hell and attention for those moments where you just get to, like you say, get to scream fuck off at people who are about 100 yards away on the other side of a football stadium.
Not many people today, as it turned out. I mean, it is a long way from Norwich on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
No, it's a Tuesday. Yeah, on a Wednesday night. But yeah, that's got to be the smallest away attendance of the season, isn't it?
I don't know. I was just about to say it's the same on a Tuesday night as well, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Don't get any difference. I couldn't particularly hear him at any point. I'm admittedly kind of opposite corner of the ground.
They had a little try, but it's hard to get anything going when there's only one block of seats, effectively 1.5 if that taken up. But we were working our way through the team anyway, weren't we? We haven't done Somerville, we haven't done Bamford yet.
Somerville is having a bit of a frustrating time, I feel like, at the moment.
It's a weird one, though, because, I feel like he's had kind of a couple of quiet games and he was a bit quiet today, but then he's often the one that looks like he's actually going to make something happen. Like, I feel like he put in a few crosses today that we might have wasted. Was it his cross to Bamford or was that Firpo? I can't remember.
For the goal?
For the one that Bamford fluffed in the second half where he sort of put it close to the corner flag.
Oh, that one, yeah. It was a difficult chance, was that, though, because it was going at pace and it was on a volley and stuff.
He cut in from the left and that one can't have been far wide. I feel like, you feel like he's quiet and then suddenly he'll just do some really good stuff. Yeah.
I think we just got used to him scoring every week at some point, and he's not done it for, ages now. Useless. But he's still really good. And people still, both him and Rutter, it's really obvious how much people are afraid to tackle him. Like when he's doing little jinky runs across the box and people are like dangling legs at him and thinking, oh no, he's gonna go over that. I can't do it. So yeah, he's still very useful.
Teletone Monkey just asking if we have a green room. No, we have an office here, and the studio's within the office, isn't it? But my kitchen's green. We repainted it at the start of the week, so I've got a green room at home now.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all grey goose and cocaine out there.
Yeah.
That's how we live.
Is it? Tell me that.
No, you're in the other office. Patrick Bamford up front.
Yeah, he was good. And I think he looks...
He's such a disruptive, annoying bastard, isn't he, from the opposition point of view?
I thought he looked less tired than he normally does today as well. I don't know if it's just match fitness because he's now actually played a run of games, but there was a time where he got to about the hour mark and you were like, oh, he's fucked it. You could see him really dragging himself about, but I thought tonight he kept being a pest throughout.
He tried an overhead kick, right? Did I see that right?
He did.
I mean, fair play. I did enjoy that moment.
Yeah, and actually I saw the replay on the big screen at half time, and his connection was closer than I thought it was. I think the angle it went off at made it look less dangerous than perhaps it was. If it had connected, it could have been goal of the season, couldn't it? Or goal of the century.
He's already scored
scored.
it.
I was going to say he's already got the Puskas award winner. Oh, we're just getting some of the comments in now about what Junior Firpo's been saying post-match. It's the happiest he's ever been.
Ah,
They're a likeable bunch, aren't they?
I'm hoping Firpo continues this so we can sing his name unironically. So I do sometimes feel a bit bad for him when it gets like the last 5 minutes and South Stand are singing, "You've seen Firpo, now fuck off home." And Firpo's still on the pitch playing. It's like, come on, man.
It's getting a bit, it's on the Danny Mills scale here, isn't it? When we were singing Danny Mills is fucking brilliant, somewhat ironically, 20 years ago, whenever it was. And he wasn't to start with, and then he got good.
yeah. It's the happiest I've ever been with Junior Firpo.
Yeah.
I was thinking earlier today, like, has he had like 2 good weeks now to go with his 2 good weeks from last year? He's literally like doubled his amount of time at Leeds United being good.
Yeah. Well,
So
I'll
you
check
keep that
back
going.
actually on the scores, tracking it from last year and this year. But no, he's had a few solid weeks here, which is good.
Just returning to Bamford, do you agree with John that regardless of whether he scores or not, we play better with Paddy on the pitch?
Yeah.
I think he just occupies defenders, doesn't
Although
he?
I will
That's the
say, I
thing.
think part of that is having Rutter at 10.
Yeah.
Which we only seem to do if Bamford's at 9. I think that improves us as much as Bamford at 9 does. I'd be interested to see Pirro given a go at 9 as well.
Yeah.
To see if that makes a difference. But they're different players, aren't they?
Yeah.
But I think Bamford is working. He's scoring goals. We're winning games.
And it's what we've said loads of times about him having the pressure of somebody else breathing down his neck in the form of Pirro, like knowing that there's another guy there ready to take your place. Maybe it just helps him. I don't know.
Yeah. No, he's been, so you can't really fault the record with since he's come back into the team, can you? So.
Early candidate for Villain of the Week, Andy Hughes.
Forgot he was there, actually.
Do we need to remove his name from the records? Because he was our hero of the week previously.
What did he actually do?
I think he said some naughty words, didn't he?
Is that all it was? Just having a moan?
I think so.
Was it him that got booked? Sorry.
Yes.
Is that right?
On the
Okay.
bench.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we always loved Hughes. His competitive spirit, wasn't it? Eh?
Farkas giving credit, unless Ben's lying, Farkas giving credit to Norwich. They were one of the best sides that have played here this season. I expected a complicated game. He would say that about his ex, though, wouldn't he? He's got to be nice about her.
And also we won.
Yeah.
They tried really hard and they were good, but, all for nothing.
It's like when Bielsa used to tell opposition managers, "Oh, you should be in the Champions League. You're absolutely brilliant. I know we just beat you 5-0, but,
Yeah.
How do you feel about that one overall, then?
It's a win, innit? It's ugly. I never want to see it again.
Right.
Particularly as a game. I've no desire to go back and particularly watch it again or anything, but it's a win, innit? At home.
I'm pleased we've won. It was a very championship game. That's what it's all about. Well done, Leeds.
Yeah.
3 points. Right, let me just have a quick dig through the comments.
Are you going to put Twitter on screen now?
I'm not. I haven't got the
he's not
screen ready for it. I got caught in traffic on the way in, so I didn't have time to put it together. I actually did look. I was gonna look. We had a few problems to handle their possession, but we created the better chances, and in the end, it was a deserved win. It was important that we didn't let them have many chances. This was especially a win over mentality and defensive steel. I'm pleased with this.
I'm also pleased with this.
I am too. Are you pleased, Rob?
I am pleased with this, yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully progress in the FA Cup at the weekend. It'll be interesting to see what we do in terms of lineup, and if there have been any.
Avoid a replay. That's what we need to do.
Yeah.
If it's like 1-1 or something going in the final minutes,
Just leave Davis it. It's fine.
I'll keep her up front.
Yeah.
Send the keeper up for things from the 70th minute or something.
Rutter
Actually,
in goal.
Oh, the ref blew up, didn't he, today when their keeper was forward and Rutter was breaking?
Yeah. Failure to do the advantage.
Dickhead. Not that it mattered.
Although it did help to run the clock down a little bit, didn't it?
It was quite. I know we ended up playing about 9 minutes, but it was quite retro seeing 3 minutes of injury time, wasn't it?
I called that,
Yeah.
I know there's no evidence of it here on this podcast, but it don't matter.
Yeah.
Well,
I left about 2 minutes into that injury time, and the game carried on for about another 10 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it was interesting seeing how we made the subs as well. Would you have made subs earlier? I know it's kind of a thing we've levelled at Farker all season, but it felt like the game was so delicately poised and balanced that if he'd have made the wrong change at any point in that second half, it could have maybe just swung it one way or the other. But I felt like the way he used them in injury time, just one after the other, after the other, after the other, just to disrupt it. Yeah,
as much as possible
was an effective way to do it. But would you have changed anything any earlier?
There wasn't an obvious change, I wouldn't say. The only thing maybe would have been to get Pirro on for Bamford for a little bit, just to give him something a bit different to face for a while. But then don't know, we kind of Bamford on set is quite useful for defensive set pieces, isn't he? Bamford, he's often the free man who attacks the ball or something. So yeah, I could see more why because we were leading today. Obviously, I could see more why we didn't make any changes. With Farker, it's more frustrating when we sometimes get to the hour mark and we're not in the lead, and you think need to maybe try to force something in.
Yeah.
But he seems quite, in some ways, he's quite conservative. Is Farker in that he doesn't seem to like to make a change, and he I don't know, until we go behind, and then he just chucks everyone on.
Sounds like we've got more reductor problems.
Oh no,
that's what Dan James has got. It's another reductor. Your muscle between the thing and the thing.
Yeah, it joins the hip to the thigh. Does it?
The thigh bone and the hip bone.
Fotmob says Stuart Dallas is missing with a broken hip.
Is he?
Today.
Well, this comes as
new. That's new, isn't it?
So let's have a look. Right, so Matt has got the injury update for us. James suffered an adductor strain, very likely to miss the FA Cup tie. Gray overstretched his knee. Farker says he's cautiously optimistic that ligaments are fine and not long term.
Okay.
He's a young lad, isn't he? He can run it off.
Yeah, or bends back into place, doesn't it?
Yeah, like Joe Rodon as well.
I'd have had to have the leg off.
He was, yeah, I was going to say when Rodon was a bit heavy legged and limping, and I thought, well, he'll probably just shake that off. That's it for Michael. We'll pull the curtain around you and get the gun out, aren't we?
He's pulled his calf. Just get the saw out.
Like, you're going to be fine, you know. No, he's fine.
Right, we'll wrap it up there then. Thank you for joining us on the live stream for the match ball. It's Thursday tomorrow, isn't it? So we've got the weekly roundup to come. We'll pick some heroes and villains. I think Andy Hughes needs to have probably a long, hard look at himself tonight and see if we can. We'll punish him tomorrow. We've got Phil before the end of the week, and we'll preview the next trip on the journey to Wembley. So that's exciting, isn't it? Do you fancy Wembley as well?
Twice.
Yeah. Oh,
no,
in 2 days.
Consecutive days.
Just once.
Oh, House of Stoats is suggesting that replays might have been scrapped this year. I don't know if that's from a certain level onwards.
I think they are from the fifth round,
onwards,
aren't they? I can't remember. They keep fucking about with it, don't
Yeah.
We won't get there, don't we?
Jurgen Klopp has a cry about it.
Adam Forshaw masterclass on Saturday. Anyway, we'll be back on the match ball for that, and we'll speak to you in the meantime with Phil and the weekly show. We'll see you soon.
The match ball.